Good evening, race fans. Welcome to the Core Racing Network. Tonight, the Elwood Designs Core Xfinity Series heads to the Atlanta Motor Speedway. So we went from the Super Speedway of Daytona last week, 2.5 miles of just flat foot and just holding onto your breath for that race. Well, it got a little bit of the same here, but a mile less. This newly paved Atlanta Motor Speedway is extremely fast. It's got a ton of grip, and it's going to be like a super speedway, but it's a lot tighter quarters here. I mean, it's a mile less. It's just, you can't, you can run 3 wide. We'll put it that way. You can run 3 wide, but even 2 wide, it's so fast around here. It feels a little sketchy at times. So see how these boys handle this track out here tonight. Carl Landmark joining the booth by Jimmy Covert. Jimmy, we got a very fast Atlanta Motor Speedway here tonight.
Short track super speedway. It's gonna be fun. It's fast, like you said. Some drivers like it, some don't. I think there's a little more strategy with this one. A big thing tonight. Say it a lot, and we're gonna say it tonight. But pit entry is probably the discussion amongst most drivers, where the pit entry is actually the beginning of turn 3. And there's no speed limit in the entry until you get to the yellow cone, which is in turn 4. So hopefully these drivers got a little bit of time and practice down in that pit zone, because tonight, if they go green, it could be a very, very big or bad, depending on how well you like pit entry under green.
Well, I know one person that's probably not looking forward to it, and that is our winner from last week. AJ Roderick got the win last week. Didn't have to worry about any green flag pit stops there at Daytona. But, yeah, definitely a big old wrinkle here, as you can't just come flying out of turn 4, turn down to the left, and get into pit road. You have to get down there underneath that cone heading into turn number 3 all the way down there in the apron. You can maintain as much speed as you can until you get to the yellow cone at pit entry. But it's definitely different. I mean, I mentioned to Jimmy, I wish more tracks would have something like this. At least the 1.5 miles like Charlotte in Texas. I think it would prevent some issues, but then again, it may create some more. So we'll see how they handle it out here tonight. But Jimmy, we are done with qualifying. Why don't you give us a rundown of tonight's order?
Well, rundown of the 32 car field here tonight. It will be Alan Elwood on the pole, and outside will be Jack Stoneman in at number 25. Then Tom Bourne, Justin Munsell, Shane Therian, Joseph Sullivan, Nico Garcia, AJ Roderick, Matt Crockett, and Joey Cruz for your top 10. Then you have Aiden Hines, Joseph Thomas, Kevin Foster in number 8, and P number 13, Danny Ware, Andrew White, James Soley, Davey Hendricks, Clayton Montgomery, John Van Westen, and Tyler Skozen for your top 20. Jeremy Gainey, Dan Phelps, John Nobinger, Tyler Bramble, Dayton Drummonds, Louis Orduna, Alex Hamrick, John Crane, Bronson Stafford, Justin Kirby starting in the back tonight, Blake Erickson, and Robert Kenny for 32 drivers. A few drivers choosing not to put in time, so maybe just gonna chill out in the back and watch the mayhem unfold. It is a shorter track, tighter track, and almost just as fast, Carl.
Yeah, and I gotta ask you, Jimmy. I mean, I know one of the strategies, obviously, at your Daytonas, at your Talladegas, at your super speedways is if you qualify, you can drop down to the apron, drop to the back, or maybe you just decide not to qualify and you start from the back. It's an option. It's a viable option. You can kind of hang back there if you got some other drafting partners, just to kind of hang back there and just grab the tail end of the draft, and you have some time to work around and get around any kind of issues if they happen in front of you. Is that really a strategy here at Atlanta, though? I mean, it's very fast, and it's not like your Daytonas and Talladegas where you can go from the back to the front in just a lap or 2. Here, it's going to take a little bit extra work.
I mean, yeah. So I think tires are going to play a bigger role. Obviously, not a big thing at Daytona, if at all. So tires might be a thing, just to be able to hold on to them certain lines in certain areas. If you want to get down the inside and ride that bottom, or if you want to ride the top. So there's definitely going to be a little more strategy, I think. It might be as fast, might be as tight, but there's going to be more strategy involved, and I don't think, hopefully, You never know, might see that 3 wide here early, but they should just keep this thing calm. We're gonna be out here for a few laps, and we're getting ready to go into green. That's pace car comes in.
Yep, the start is in the hands of Barney as they enter the Geico restart zone, and we are racing here at Atlanta. Got 85 laps on tap here on this, again, very fast, newly paved Atlanta track. There's definitely quite a few drivers that miss the old Atlanta. They like the rough and bumpy Atlanta, and it led to maybe a little bit more of a driver's type of track here. Again, it's more super speedway like. You'll see a lot of bump drafting, a lot of pushing, a lot of just kind of follow the leader and hoping to avoid a big one here at Atlanta. But a good start here from the front. It is Alan Elwood, Tom Bourne right behind him on the inside. You got Jack Stillman leading on the outside charge. Looks like we got might be Alex Hamrick in the back, a little bit slow.
Yeah, he got down on the inside apron, got it loose.
Got back going again here, so you take a look at the front and, well, not wasting any time as...
Check it up, check it up, check it out. Yeah, check them out.
Looks like everybody is going to survive here, but that was very close. Aiden Hines working his way back up onto the track, and caution averted, at least for the time being. Lisa doing it, just blinking a little bit there. Certainly see some smoke here and there, but man, Jimmy, they're not wasting any time. I mean, this is not a patient game apparently for these gentlemen out here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, you know, obviously drivers up front a little more, I think, put together and ready to go and get things going here forward, just staying too wide, and back drivers moving around just a little bit. So it's obviously drivers just got to be patient with each other. There's a lot of things that are going on out here, and like I said, it's tight, it's fast, and these front, what is it, 10? 12 cars, first 12 cars are starting to check out.
Yeah, a little bit of a gap forming since the little bit of a melee right there, and take a look at the back. It looks like Danny Ware is going to be the one that's bringing up the tail end of this 12-car breakaway, and then Dan Phelps kind of just out here by himself trying to... this is kind of no man's land here. He's a little bit too far ahead of Skozen in that second pack, and just a little bit too far back of Danny Ware to get any kind of draft. So one thing's going to happen. I mean, it's going to yo-yo one way or another. But even taking a look back here at Skozen back here in the 14th, he's got Tyler Bramble back there. But we're going to get all grouped up together anyway, because we've got a caution and a mini big one towards the back of this field, and I see a lot of cars smoking already. Look like the 8 of Kevin Foster was involved in that one, and smoking down the back straight. Big impact there for the 8. We'll take a look back and see what caused this one.
I'm here talk over the chatter over the radio. It sounds like somebody down below that double white or double line now at the bottom, and they're just coming up, and maybe it's hard. You know, obviously it might have started before that, but cars come upside down. Wow.
Trying to find a start of this and the cause of this. I see the 44 Nobinger down there at the bottom under the dash lines. He comes up and pinches a little bit, and I think Stafford maybe just tried to give him some room, got up into Andrew White, and that kind of just set up the melee right there. The drivers are allowed to go down below that white and red line. That is, it's not out of bounds, so they can do with it what they like, but you come up that quickly, and we'll take a look at again here taking a look right on here, the 44, and you see he tries to ease his way back up there, but all of a sudden then you got the second part of the quad oval on the front stretch, and it's a quick little turn, and unfortunately it ends up turning quite a few cars and some big impacts there. Gonna bring us under our first caution. Already got some drivers licking their wounds, using their faster pairs. And, I mean, we're only 7 laps into this thing. It looks like Foster did get that car back to pit lane. Got his faster berries back up to speed. But, man, it's going to be a long race now for that 8, because he's got to tiptoe. He can't get any kind of aggressive anytime soon. But he also has to stay close enough to everybody. But he also has to make sure nobody gets in an accident in front of him. It sucks when you have to take that faster bear before lap 10.
Yeah, I mean, it's not, it's not the best thing you want to do. Obviously, go out there and find yourself having to burn up your faster pair. You know, obviously getting caught up in an incident. You know, when cars are moving that fast and whatnot, it is hard to kind of react. These cars don't turn on a dime. They don't stop very well. They're pretty clumsy while they're out there. Man, they can go fast and they can hold some tight lines, but they get any kind of a little bit crazy and out of whack, you really can send them flying here pretty quickly. But so yeah, it's going to be a quick one here for some of these drivers, and obviously they're going to be licking wounds, and you're going to go back and forth and maybe think about that going down there below that line. It is so tempting, Carl, to come across out of 4, the cut down there, and you think that it's going to save you so much time. And if you're just so far down in there, the drivers might not even get the call that there's somebody on their left side, and you try to squeak it up there, back up on the raceway so you can get the the banking for the curve, and it just unsettles the car. I did some laps in here when I was practicing setting up cameras and whatnot, and yeah, you can go down there. Yeah, is it fast? It can be, but it's so not. It's just uneasy coming back up on the track, and when you're in tight quarters like that at 150, 160 miles an hour, it's probably uncalled for, to be honest, and you're really not gaining that much. If you're back that far, you're probably back there for a reason other than not being able to go below the white line, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, Atlanta's not the worst track for going down on the apron on that front stretch. There's certainly some other tracks that have a more drastic transition from the banking to the flat part on the front stretch, but it's still one, like you said, you got to navigate it correctly. You kind of have to take the right angles to get down there, because when you're transitioning, I mean, when you think about it, when you're up on the track, your tires got full contact across the board on that track. When you're down there in the apron, you got full contact, but when you're in that little bit of transition, you don't have full contact patch on those tires, so you're not going to have as much grip, and that's what you see with the 44 there. But we are back under green here. On the lap pedal is Jack Stoneman, your new leader here in the 25. Gets a great start from the inside. Elwood's going to drop down from the outside to follow him, and then a nice start there from Justin Munsell in 98 as he is going to slide up there into third.
Yeah, so front looking good here, and just another one of these tracks where draft is strong here with some of these cars. And that's when you see some of these cars driving up on that outside. So it's just you gotta be comfortable driving door to door and watching your mirrors, watching your relatives. But right now, it looks like a pretty good start as they are 2 wide as they cross the start-finish line with Stoneman moving.
Giving an idea of how chaotic this can be here. We'll hop on board with fellow CRN man here in the booth, Joe Sullivan, as he is riding back here currently in 12th place on the inside line. And he said it doesn't look that bad when you're just sitting back here. You're just watching them. It's certainly it seems like Atlanta is a lot more smoother. Obviously, it should be than Daytona. It's not as bumpy, and the car's not going to move around as much, but the radius of these turns is a lot tighter. It's a mile less than Daytona, so you're getting around those corners a lot quicker, and you have to make decisions a lot quicker when you're getting into the corners, getting out of the corners. And it's the same kind of deal. You see Sullivan just kind of peeking out there a little bit just to maybe get some air on the front of that car, or maybe just to peek out and see where the heck am I, because when you're tucked in behind these cars, you can't see. It's so tough. I mean, it's not like you can look through the rear windshield, through the front windshield, and see what's going on. You're just kind of at the whim of everybody in front of you.
Yeah, and you can see them coming right now. They're exiting too. So this is the back stretch. So yeah, pretty good inside there for if you want to pull it down and get out of the way. And obviously using that for the pit entry there. Right? You can see the dash white lines down at the bottom, but coming down, you can see when they come out of 4 how inviting going down below that double white is. And it's big. It's like 2 or 3 cars wide down there. And it really starts to, the banking kind of picks up like just after the start-finish line. So there's a place where you can make it work, but man, it's just it's tough. But like I said, but they see that. I think after that first one,
it seems like everybody's a little more tentative to go down there, isn't it?
It's not as easy as it looks. Like you want to drive it, and you can really take it down on one, but then you just have no steering. So it's just not worth it. And as far as like, you know, competitiveness, like, not this early, you know, I could see this happening early, but we got 85 laps out here tonight, and you know, it's I'm trying to see what lap. Well, I'm at 14, so we still have you know, good 60 laps remaining. So it's going to be a tough one here if these drivers, you know, don't want to play nice, and it's going to see how rough it is here. Hopefully, it gets spread out just a little bit.
Not sure what exactly happened to 11 here, John Crane, but he's kind of off there by himself. Just noticed him on the track map. Certainly has got plenty of time to avoid any kind of incidents if they happen in front of him. But you see there on the standings, looks like Andrew White dropping out of this race early, so he's going to be finishing in 32nd here tonight. Hamrick now just coming out of the pits. He's 3 laps down. Then you've got Ben Weston, Hines, and Erickson all 1 lap down, so they're looking for maybe a quicker than usual caution, or at least a caution at some point to try and get them back on the lead lap. But out front it is Jack Stoneman still leading the way, 2 by 2 for majority of the field, as Stoneman, Elwood, Munsell, Bourne, and Shane Thurian are your top 5. We got Garcia, Crockett, Roderick, Scioli, and Ware from the top 10.
Yeah, we're gonna see this for a while. I think they're finally decided to kind of slow down just a little bit and get some laps knocked out here. And I think at this rate we're going to see that green flag stop, but who is going to try to stretch it and to see if anybody's going to mess up and get another lapping? It's always with a 1.5 mile track and at the speed, I mean, you're more than likely going to lap down, especially having to enter in the back of you know, on turn 3.
Well, now here's the question, because I mean, we've never had a pit road, as far as I know, the entry be this long, and it kind of being like the entry before the entry is as you go down there into turn number 3, you got to be below that cone, but you can keep your speed up all the way to the cone before pit entry. Now my question is, if you're down below, you get down into turn 3 or halfway between 3 and 4, all of a sudden the caution comes out, are you considered in the pits, or can you come back up on the track and kind of rejoin everybody? Because if not, I mean, you could possibly go a lap down just by that right there, just by being down on the inside. Or, you know, is it a penalty if you're down there, the yellow flag comes out and you don't come back up on the track? So it's kind of a bit of a curveball here tonight, at least from the rules standpoint. And you know, when there's something new like this, you kind of have to feel it out. I mean, not everything is detailed out exactly for what's going on. A bit of a bobble there. But we're going to keep it green here.
Yeah, a little bit of a bobble there in the beginning, or in the front, but a good catch there by Stoneman as he continues to lead the field here on lap 19. Obviously, just starting lap 20, so a few laps remaining, and they will have to pit. So more probably, I think they're talking about maybe a 2-stopper tonight. So we really are going to get into that point to being able to come down and seeing how these drivers are going to tackle this unique pit lane. And like you said, it's fast, but if multiple people come down at the same time, I mean, you might get somebody passing somebody in the pit, on the pitch, but if they can drive the car like that, because you got to keep it tighter, you know, you obviously can't flat foot it like they are right now. So, and maybe, you know, some drivers doing a little bit of lifting just to maintain their spot, you know, not running up on the guy in front of them, but everything is just kind of laps right now. And, so 61 on the wall.
I see where get to. There we go.
My spotter in there. My spotter's a little bit. I'm glad I'm not on the air. Whoops.
Let's take a look back here and see what brought this one out. As 3 wide racing there, and just a little bit too close there. Contact between Gainey and Stafford on the backstretch is going to send him around. So Gainey getting involved. Gainey's going to get it straightened out.
And it's see Kirby. I see a bunch of people down that pit lane entry. So
again, it's I wonder,
like a black flag thing. Like, you know, matter of fact, I'm gonna go to results, or not results, but entries. Yeah,
because
a lot of black flags, Carl. We should probably clear all these.
I mean, that's the only problem with it, because you see right there, that's the actual pit entry right there. So I mean, this is it's
there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 black flags right now.
Yeah, but unfortunately, I don't know if it's they serve them under stop and go, if it's not until green. So fortunately we can't really do much. It's just it's a crap situation. Unless you have somebody taking a look at it real quick before they come into pit road, it's tough to figure out. But tell you what, the one guy that benefited from this, at least for the time being, maybe just staying out there to get a lap led, John Crane, currently showing as your race leader, and I know he's got a couple of guys behind him that are probably trying to figure out how to get on his radio or how to flag him down somehow and tell him get heck in pit lane, and there he goes, because he had Blake Erickson, Kenny Hines right behind him looking to try and get a lap back. It looks like Hines is actually going to forego that pass around, and he is going to come into the pits this time, but Erickson looks like he's going to stay out. Hamrick is going to stay out also and get a wave around to get back down to 2 laps down. But it's going to be back to Jack Stoneman in the lead here. He's going to have James Scioli in second place, Nico Garcia, Clayton Montgomery and Davey Hendricks for the top 5. And then Luis Orduna coming back down pit road. He was in 6th place, but he's going to sacrifice that. So it's going to now be Justin Munsell, Danny Ware, Tyler Skozen, Tom Bourne, and Alan Elwood for your top 10.
I have Alan showing him with a black flag, John Crane with a black flag, Jack Stoneman black flag, Luis Orduna black flag, Nico Garcia black flag, Tom Bourne black flag, Shane Therian black flag, and Justin Munsell black flag. So 0 incidents for Alan, obviously probably just avoiding maybe an incident. I don't know. I have no idea. This is I don't think I've ever seen this many flags flown.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully, for their sake, hopefully it's just a move to the end of the longest line type of penalty. It's kind of a weird situation. I mean, if there was somebody live handing out black flags, obviously they wouldn't get those kind of black flags, but even with a live admin, it's tough to try and quickly look and see why somebody got a black flag. Yeah, you can pick some of those out pretty quickly, but by the time you pick 2, 3, 4 of them out, they're already coming down pit lane, and you don't know if you got somebody or not, so it's a real tough situation. But we're going to get back going green here. Once again, it's going to be in control by Jack Stoneman, and we're already on lap 24. We're going to complete 24 laps this time, and we're still going to have quite a ways to go yet, and we had a little bit of a green flag spurt, but I'm sure AJ Roderick is not minding these yellow flags and no green flag pit stops up into this point. But Jack Stoneman going to control it here once we get to the Geico restart zone. And he is back on the loud pedal. We're racing again here at Atlanta. Good start from the 25. Looks like Scioli's going to get a little bit of a shove from points leader here, Clayton Montgomery. We'll try and take a look at the points under the next caution if we get one. We're going to get a chance to before the race. But Clayton Montgomery currently on top of the point standings overall, heading into tonight by a nice little margin, as he's had a great little start to the season. But you see a lot of these cars coming down.
That is the line of cars with the black flags coming in to serve them.
But my question is, I mean, these guys right here at the front, they weren't involved in that wreck. So I'm wondering why they got penalties at all. As you see a little bit of a mix-up there, but James Scioli is now going to be your leader at the front. The 7 of Montgomery now right there in second. Hendricks, Ware, Skozen for your top 5. So this is definitely going to shake things up here, as you see a bunch of your leaders having to come in there to serve those penalties. And this is really going to turn things on its head. It looks like they're going to go down a lap here. I mean, again, that's just a poor coding by iRacing, in my opinion, to have something like that, if that's really what the case was. But again, for the cars that were back there involved in the incident, like you see Justin Kirby going down there, I get it, but I mean, these guys were in the lead. These guys were up at the front. Jack Stoneman was nowhere near this. So I'm wondering how they actually got the penalties. I'm thinking that maybe they came down and weren't down below that that line in turn number 3. If when they came down the pits, so they may not have got the memo, essentially. But either way, Scioli leads this thing at the front as we got a few more cars now coming out of pit lane. It's like Therian and Elwood, a couple of them coming out of pit lane. Munsell coming out as well. The field's going to have to work around the 098 as he tries to stay low. They go 3 wide around him, and around goes the 10 at the front. And tag the wall on the outside. Foster gets involved again. You see the hood fly up. So he's going to have to get some more repairs done. Hopefully it didn't destroy the car too much for him. But that's going to bring out another one. And really is not much Munsell could do right there. I mean, he took the safer line, being the slower car. Just stay down there on the bottom, and hopefully everybody works their way around. But this is going to be interesting now, as all those cars that came into pits, is anybody going to get the wave around is really the question, because I don't know if anybody's going to come in from the front. As you see Crockett coming into the pits here. This is a strange situation with this pit road. I mean, I like the idea at first. I'm already going back on it. I don't know. I don't know what to say on this, because it's really screwing things up here.
Yeah, I'm kind of watching.
And there's no way to turn it on or off. It's just. I mean, it's the only way to do it is run old Atlanta and run the original format.
Well, right now, currently no black flags have are flying. So, and I think obviously you got a few people back in the pits. You know, Crockett, Kirby, Cruz, Foster, Van Weston, Bramble, Gooney, Erickson. So maybe just getting some repairs or whatever they can get taken, trying to save their fast repairs. But it's yeah, I don't know, Carl. It was a lot.
That's a mess.
That was a lot. It was a lot. And,
well, let's take a look at the Xfinity standings coming in here while we have a chance. And again, as I mentioned, Clayton Montgomery leading the way in the overall and the platinum. Nico Garcia, Alan Elwood for the top 3. And then Joe Sullivan is leading in the gold by just a mere 7 over Tyler Skozen, and Jack Stoneman in 3rd there as the gold. Maybe showing a little signs of life last week, and maybe going to finally pick it up here a little bit. But the silver division has been doing better. You see over the overall standings, silver recovers 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th, as you got Justin Kirby leading the way, AJ Roderick, Matt Crockett for the top 3. And then in the bronze, it is Joe Thomas leading over Luis Arduna and Dan Phelps for the bronze division. We still got a few rookies out there as well, as you probably seen the red numbers out there. We got James Scioli. This is his 5th race, so he'll establish a division after this one. Davey Hendricks, I know, is getting pretty close to as is Bronson Stafford. So some of these rookie drivers will be taking their rookie status off after this week and finally getting put in a division. So we'll get everything updated and ready again for next week. But we are going to get ready to go back to green flag racing. Hopefully we get this thing sorted out. Hopefully we don't see too many pit road penalties this time by, and we can get some green flag racing.
Yeah, no black flags this time by. The only one showing is obviously the finished flag for Andrew White, as he's taking his car and put it back in the hauler for the evening. But you know, would have liked to see him out here racing a little bit longer. And but you know, sometimes you have a bad start and just ain't vibing it. So you go out here and give it a try, and if it doesn't work, you know, take that car and put it in the hauler and watch it here on CRN for the I guess the best views. But right now it's gonna be James Scully, John Novinger, Clayton Montgomery, Davey Hendricks, and Danny Ware for your top 5.
You're taking a look at from 23rd on back are the drivers that are not on the lead lap anymore. You got earlier leader Jack Stoneman back there, Nico Garcia, Justin Munsell, Tom Moore, and all these drivers were up in the top 5 battling, and now all of a sudden there are a lap or more down. As the pace car is the one that's down right now. It's going to be in the hands and control of the 70 of Scioli. And we are back to racing at Atlanta. Good start from both the inside and the outside, as Scioli and Novinger on that front row. You got Clayton Montgomery and Davey Hendricks pushing them into turn number 1.
Yeah, so flip the field around just a little bit there. It's almost like the front half are now in the back and the back are now in the front. So, leaders up 15 spots. Clayton Montgomery 16 spots. Ware's 11. John Miller 19. And Davey Hendricks is 12. Robert Kenny's up 21, sitting in P11. So 3 wide back here. That's brave, I'm sure, trying to get things going. But Sullivan looking to that outsider was forced out there.
I think Stafford he's just trying to get up and in front of any kind of issues at this point. I mean, he was involved in 2 yellows now at this point, and I don't know if really either of them were of his doing. Obviously, the last one getting turned there a little bit by Gainey, and then this the first one he was involved with the 44 sliding up the track in the quad oval, and he got involved in that one. So I'm sure he's probably just, even though he may not even have a faster car anymore, he's trying to get up and get out of any kind of potential issues. But Sealy leads this way. Montgomery, Ware, 3 in line right there at the front, and then side by side between Nominger and Hendricks rounding out the top 5.
Yeah, so it's going to be a big challenge for some of those drivers that were up there early, and obviously got stuck in some iRacing coding issues, in my opinion. But anyways, I'm still weighing heavy on who's this crap. But anyways, these guys have got their hands full and trying to work their way up to the field. Obviously, the clean way, but they need to get around all these drivers, get out front, and it's not like anybody's running away here. So everybody's kind of bunched up. So it's pretty good if you can get up there. I think maybe some of those drivers back there, Eagle Garcia and Alan Elwood, Shane Theory, and all the platinum drivers back there, maybe to see working together to get those cars back up in the front.
I mean, really, you look back here, and as a race within the race, you see Jack Stoneman now going through the middle there underneath Kevin Foster. He's trying to get up there as far as possible because he wants to remain in the lucky dog position. Right now, he is there, but Nico Garcia is looking to try and find a way to get through as well. But you see, traffic is just a little bit heavy right now. I think Foster will be a little bit. I don't think he's slow. I think he's just tentative right now, getting involved in a couple incidents himself, and definitely already used his fast repair. So just getting out of the way for the time being. Still plenty of racing yet to go. About 50 laps to go. Looks like 49 left. But this is, the race within the race. There's 2 guys 1 lap down right now, and only one of them will get the lucky dog if we get a caution.
Yeah, and that's the big thing, and they're not like they're the slow guys. So they got a lot of battling to do and trying to make their way to the front, trying to maintain lucky dog. Obviously, they can get in front of James Scioli there up there in the number 70 car, and he's no slouch. We've seen Scioli with some pretty decent speed, so and he can drive that car. He actually has a 6,500 iRacing rating for ovals, so
so
talk
not
about iRacing just a little bit. He's been around, all right. So I'm not saying that if you have 2,000 you're bad, but I'm just saying he's at 6,500, so he's been around. He's probably seen these situations multiple times running that many official ovals that get that high of a iRacing is quite actually impressive. And I know there's some out there with some higher, but you're talking somebody with iRatings like that's those type of drivers, they're trying to maybe get up to that 7 or 8K era, and maybe even looking to do that race for the Road to Pro series, and try their luck there. So obviously that's the type of caliber of drivers that they can be, being that high up in iRacing and being able to have the opportunity to get involved in iRacing's prestige, I guess, events. And a lot of time watch a lot of those. What are you doing?
That was certainly close right there. Got some guys now dipping below the apron, trying to work their way back up. It looks like Elwood is going to get back up there, as he's another one. He's stuck 2 laps down right now, as you see quite a lot of names even 2 laps down with Tom Bourne, Alan Elwood, Shane Theory, and Justin Munsell all back there 2 laps down. And they were up there earlier in the race battling for the top spots. But as is the penalty system apparently here at Atlanta. Big move there by the 25 of Jack Stoneman. And why is that? Well, because Nico Garcia is all of a sudden right behind him. So I think that was a bit of a, maybe a block move or a bit of a, I want to get out of this lane. Either way, he is battling with Nico Garcia. This isn't for first, mind you. This is a battle for 23rd and 24th. But that one lap is really what they're battling for, and that potential lucky dog position is what they're battling for. Now, it can't get too crazy because obviously if they're involved in a wreck, they're not going to get it anyway. So you got to still be smart about it. But at the front, Scioli leads this thing. But last week's winner, AJ Roderick, starting to sneak up there. I know we haven't had a green flag pit stop yet, but you know, we'll see how this thing plays out. Right now, he's out there leading at the charge on that outside line, and currently in second place, looking to go back-to-back on, you know, arguably quote-unquote super speedway type tracks.
I mean, it's a tough beat. Like I said, it's not. It's super speedish. They're super speedway-ish because you know it's flat. That's pretty much flat foot. No, let's be real here. And you know, obviously everybody's so close, and the big ones can happen, and cars can roll over like we seen earlier. And I'm sure that will make our highlight video for the week. But it's just it is some, you know, obviously it's timing. You know, being in there, staying out of the incidents. Obviously with the ruling of the backstretch entry, the backstretch pit entry can throw a wrench in things, and it has. And you see some drivers trying to push things 3 wide, trying to make their way to the front. That's the 6 of Tom Bourne trying to get up there, trying to get in front of that 70, and you know, trying to do it any way as possible. Obviously, he's in that same situation, battling with Elwood and Stone.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's 2 laps down, trying to make his way up there and get one of them back the hard way. But you see, Nico Garcia has gotten out there in front of Jack Stoneman, but only just see the 25 and the 88s on your screen as the 06 of Bourne gets in the wall, rubs it a little bit through turns 3 and 4. He's going to keep it under power, but that was a big impact there from Luis Orduna. We're going to stay green because he stays straight, but I mean, I don't know what happened there, and I'm going to have to rewind it and see exactly what happened, because there's not even an incident on here, but that was absolutely vicious. I mean, I don't see anything there, and then all of a sudden the Hamrick just gives him a little tap, and that absolutely destroyed the 73. But again, we will stay green, and we'll keep this thing going here, as it is still Scioli and Roderick in the front row. Second row is Montgomery on the inside, Bronson Stafford on the outside, and got to give it again to that 61 as he is pushing Roderick right now, trying to get him to the front and trying to just stay out in front of any kind of issues. I think he's got involved in enough here tonight. He's made it now past the halfway point, so he's at least made it halfway, but he's up there battling in 4th place right now. Nobody rounds out the top 5. Then you got Hines, who's involved in some incidents as well, and even went a lap down, but he's back up there to 6th. Joe Thomas, bronze driver, up there into 6th place now, just taking over from Hines, Hendricks, Drummonds, and Ware rounding out your top 10 as we're shuffling back here, but no incident. I see Sullivan dropped back through the pack a little bit, but I mean, just it's kind of falling back off pace, but either way, we got a nice little green flag run here. Hopefully, we can keep it nice and straight here. Certainly would love to see what green flag pit stops look like at Atlanta, but I can understand. I mean, it's not easy. It's flat to the floor. It seems like, okay, well, it's one less thing you got to worry about. You just keep your foot flat to the floor. No, I mean, if you're the guy in front, you're one of these guys up here like Scioli and now Stafford on the outside. If you're one of these guys leading the charge, sure, you can just be flat-footed and not have to worry about anything except hitting your marks. But you're anywhere behind these guys, you're having to lift, you're maybe having to drag the brake a little bit, you're trying to figure out if you can bump draft, where you can bump draft, how hard you can push. It's anything but easy.
Well, excuse me, yeah, nothing easy here at Atlanta. These tight close quarter racing, but right now it is now Bronson Stafford out front, and the 61 finds himself leading this thing here. Alan Elwood on that outside trying to get one of his laps back the hard way, and you see some smoke. There's some sideway action going across.
The yellow
when
flag
caution
is out.
flies.
And just before Alan Elwood got to the front of this field, if he was in front of Stafford, he would have got a lap back, but now all this is going to be for nothing. He's going to have to go back through the field unless Stafford comes into the pits. He maybe get a wave around that way, but take a look back and see what may have caused this one. And it looked like there was already some smoke happening before that. Not sure if there was...
looks like that 34 slow. Oh, no, that's a no-binger. Like before that, back it up. I think he got down below that apron again. Yep.
Yep, little touch right there, a little sideways, and a good save, really, from the 44. And same thing with Therian right behind him there. They save it and stay out of it. But then Kenny kind of gets sandwiched in between the 55 and the 42, gets spun sideways, and then really good job here as much as possible from Dan Phelps to try and get it slowed up, but you see just hard impact. There's really nothing that the 85 could do because it looked like the 34 was going to keep sliding across. He might have been okay, but just kind of stops right in line, and the 85 tags him. Going to bring us under another caution, and pretty much the entire field coming in. Hopefully they understand where they need to come in and get this thing done. Now, here's the rough part. I mean, all these drivers that stayed out right here are looking to get a lap back. They were 2 laps down. Elwood, Therian, Bourne, Crane, Munsell, all these drivers were 2 laps down, and I think even Alexander Hamrick out there. Now they're showing as 1 lap down, but if they come into the pits, they'll go right back 2 laps down, so they need to stay out here. They need to take the wave around, but they're going to be extremely off pit cycle, so they're going to need a caution to come out. But the good thing is they'll be able to now battle for that lucky dog as well. So we'll see how it plays out. Looks like Hamrick maybe coming in. He's going to sacrifice that wave around here and remain 2 laps down. But quite a few drivers staying out here to get that wave around. James Scioli is going to be your leader once we get this thing back going. Aiden Hines in second place. AJ Roderick, Bronson Stafford, Josh Van Westen now up there in the top 5. Montgomery, Erickson, Drummonds, Nominger, and Thomas for your top 10.
Yeah, Sullivan, Foster, Ware, Hendricks, Kenny, Scozen, Phelps in the pits still. Maybe on the way out now.
We got time. I want to give a shout out to our series sponsor here, Elwood Designs. They've been making custom liveries for the iRacing community since 2012. Specializing in the NASCAR class of vehicles, they can offer designs on various other options within the service. If you're looking to make your own livery but don't have time to make your own base design, you can purchase Elwood Design bases at simwrapmarket.com. You can find Elwood Designs also online on Facebook or on X, and they've kind of been not only the series sponsor, but they've been the talk of the series here so far this season, as they've claimed just about every win, and really all wins but one. As taking a look back at the results so far this season, James Scioli winning the opener at Kansas, then Nico Garcia winning at Texas. Alan Elwood went back-to-back at Kern and Homestead. Brandon Mettler finally stepped in there and took down the monsters here, and it was arguably one of the best finishes in Coors. He went side by side and sideways to the line with Justin Kirby there at Iowa. And then last week, AJ Roderick getting it done at Daytona. So will we see another EDE victory here? Will somebody else step up there and try and take down the monsters once again? We're getting ready to go back to green, and we've still got plenty of racing left to go. When we get back to the green flag here, there's still going to be 31 laps left in this race.
I wonder if they can make it the rest of the way.
We haven't really had a long enough green flag run to even think about what the fuel strategy is, but you got to figure it's got to be right on that realm, right on that edge, probably around 30 to 35 laps. It's I would think close enough that they can at least make an attempt at stretching it. But a nice jump here from the inside there as Scioli's going to get the lead. Roderick to second, Van Westen now sliding under Hines to get into third as we got a good restart. They will head down the back straight. Looks like the 401 there, I believe, was going down to the inside, just to let everybody go by, unless he may have a penalty coming into the pits. And definitely getting some a little bit racy at the front as we're down to 30 laps to go. So while we have a chance, and while these drivers are under green flag conditions, we'll go ahead and step aside and give everyone out there in Sierra Nation a little love to hear it.
Love to hear it.
A bit short-lived there, as we're going to go under caution one more time. Let's take a look back and see what brought this one out. And looks like some 3-wide racing. Bramble gets into the wall and almost 4 wide there as Sullivan goes to the inside, and that didn't exactly work out too well. You see Bourne going sideways there, Gainey involved. Looks like the 10 of Crockett involved as well. Quite a few drivers getting involved in this mix-up here on the backstretch. And it's going to bring us under another caution as Bramble hits the inside wall there with a good amount of force, and he's going to need to get in the pits and get that 39 channel lock fixed up a little bit here for what should be, and hopefully will be, the final run to the checker flag here tonight. But this is going to be a chance maybe for some more drivers to make one final pit stop if they need it. Certainly for another driver to get the wave around as well. And trying to see who that was that got the wave around. And there it is. The 5 of Alan Elwood is going to get his wave around. So he is not only going to be able to rejoin these guys on the lead lap, but he's going to be able to pit and be back on the same pit strategy, and that is absolutely huge. That is exactly what the 5 needed here. So now it's going to hand it over to the rest of the drivers 1 lap down. There's quite a bit of them. I mean, you got Jack Stoneman, Shane Therian, Justin Munsell, Tom Bourne, John Crane, Matt Crockett, and Jeremy Gainey, all 1 lap down, and all will be battling for that lucky dog position that Alan Elwood just got, to try and get back in the lead lap and pick off some more positions and maybe try and get at least a top 20 out of this thing here tonight. But at the front, it's going to be James Scioli going to be leading this thing, and it's going to be less than 15 laps to go when we get this green.
Yeah, laps are definitely winding down. They're not very long here. 30-second laps, by them, like, you know, almost 50 seconds there from Daytona, so they do click off just a little bit faster here. You know, they're not quite as fast, but obviously still fast, and these drivers, I know, are, as much as they like the super speedway-ish type of tracks, I think the track's rules and regulations are getting the best of them. And even iRacing, you know, Stoneman was actually in the position for the lucky dog, and obviously he ended up, I think he ended up tagging somebody in the rear right there at the end of the caution. So that would forfeit his lucky dog position back to the next guy. So that's why you've seen Alan Elwood come around. But getting back up on that lead lap is going to be big for Alan, and the team going to be able to work his way through. And whether he can make it to the front in the next in the final laps here is going to be another
Yeah, it's great getting back on the lead lap. It's great being on the same pit strategy. But the problem is, you see Elwood here, he's going to be at the back of this pack, and he's going to be looking up at all of the fun that's going to be happening in front of him for sure.
Cars, everybody that's mad that he got back on the lead lap, everything. He's definitely got his hands full. Tried his best to, obviously you want to get to the front as fast as you can, but you gotta let all them cars go by. Just kind of wait your turn. Hopefully you can make it through. So we know Alan Elwood, he's got some speed, usually pretty quick, and finds himself in the booths quite often. So we'll see if he can take his remaining laps and be able to work his way back up here. But right now it's Scioli and Roderick looking to go back to green, with Hines, Van Westen, Clayton Montgomery, Bronson Stafford, Blake Erickson, Dayton Drummond, and John Noble here for your top 10.
How about Scioli, first one tonight, choosing the outside line, but that's because he's got his teammate there, AJ Roderick, on the inside, who's going to let him down on the inside line, looking like 3 wide here. Already for 5th, 6th position here, as on the inside, Blake Erickson going to slide himself up there into 5th spot. Stafford's going to slide back a bit, as already got some jostling going on, and Ben Weston can shuffle around there a bit by Clayton Montgomery, and Blake Erickson almost getting involved in that one. Now John Dominger sliding back up there, up into the mix, up into 4th. Just don't go below that line there on the front stretch, John. It didn't work out before. He's going to move himself up in a battle for 4th with Clayton Montgomery on the outside. Scioli is your leader. AJ Roderick, Van Westen, Montgomery, and Dominger for the top 5. But we've got some more action in the back, trying to pick out who was involved in this one.
That one again. Not Gainey.
Looks like Joe Thomas involved in this one as well. We'll take a look back and see what happened. And you see right there, 3 wide. Thomas slides up, gets into the wall. A little bit of neck contact there with Sullivan. Hamrick gets involved. Looked like Bourne got involved in that one as well. And Thomas certainly took a shot, and that car may be dead. Looks like he's trying to get off the wall, but you see that front end, and he might even be missing that front left tire, so he had to tow it back to pit lane. So it's going to put us under caution one more time. One thing that is for certain, this man is smiling from ear to ear. He did not have to make a green flag pit stop here tonight. He is still up there and still got a chance at this win. So this is a win-win so far for AJ Roderick, as he looks to go back-to-back here. And only person that's done that so far is his teammate Alan Elwood. So we'll see if AJ Roderick can go back-to-back and really start to climb up and move up those ranks in the Silver Division and try and take it to this man who we haven't really talked about all race long. The 43 Justin Kirby just kind of been quiet. Either didn't get a lap in or decided not to put a lap in. Started at the back of the pack, started 30th overall, and just been kind of doing the super speedway riding here and just trying to avoid incidents, avoid any kind of situations here. All of a sudden, we're down to 11 laps to go. It's going to be 10 next time by, and the 43 is up into 8th.
Yeah, he finds himself obviously in the back, starting. Didn't put in the qualifying time, just kind of stay clean. He's had to miss a few incidents there on his way through so far, but currently sitting in P8 is always a good spot when I think we've already moved him from out of the bronze into the silver.
He's in the silver, yes.
So definitely, obviously, Kirby's been around the block a few times. Obviously, he should probably even be in the gold series or division, to be honest. But just working his way up through there, he's having a little bit of luck here tonight. And I'm gonna knock on some wood, because he's had some bad luck in some other series where just first lap things just happen and not being able to finish. But he's been doing a great job being able to finish these things out and having good finishes. And I don't know if he's a fan of super speedways or not, but it's obviously tricky here. And frustration, I'm sure, is flying between the drivers. As I do have the drivers chat on, so just kind of I almost stepped out for temporarily, but I decided to bite my tongue. It's hard to be an admin in podcast or being at one of the admins, and you hear drivers kind of talking maybe that they should just wait until after the race is over, but and then hash it out then. But yeah, that's the hard part about being an admin and broadcasting at the same time, because you kind of see stuff that or hear stuff that it shouldn't be going on. But anyways, out to the front here, we are going to see Scioli and AJ Roderick battle it out here. We're coming down to the end. We're at lap 66, so we're under 20 laps remaining. Not much time. This caution does benefit obviously Alan Elwood. He doesn't have to have everybody behind, but now he's in the thick of it. He's in the middle. He's in the what I call the battle zone, where you just got so many drivers, and that there's like different blocks of talent, and and he's right in the middle of it right now. So in order to get back up to the front where he's usually running, he's going to be running around some drivers that are probably trying to get their laps back still. You see Garcia and Scozen still back there as well. So there's definitely a lot of good drivers in the back. So just trying to get their laps back in these last remaining rounds. But the pace car is in, and it's all on Scioli and AJ Roderick.
And again, Scioli choosing the outside, hoping that his teammates going to let that on the inside. And that's exactly what's going to happen here as Scioli gets a good jump down to the inside in front of AJ Roderick. Clayton drops down there as well. 3 cars right at the front, and all 3 EDE trying to battle this thing out for the win here tonight. Josh Van Westen in to 4th. Another one I did want to highlight here is Joey Cruz. He's another one that seems to be kind of always bitten by the bad luck bug, but started 10th place here tonight. Currently running in 5th place, so a good run for the 028 of Joey Cruz. See if he can finish this thing out. Nobinger now to the outside is looking to make the pass and move himself up as Clayton kind of holding everybody up there on the outside line, hoping that he's got some help to try and move up there as Cruz touches the 8th there and slides up a little bit, but we're going to keep it green as we're down to 8 laps to go here at Atlanta. Starting to get busy a little bit towards the back here, 3 wide racing as Scozen's stuck in the middle, and he's got none other than Alan Elwood right behind him trying to push their way up through the middle of this pack. So far, so good. They're up into 11th and 13th, respectively. But it is definitely go time here at Atlanta. The 40 there of Dalton Drummond's trying to join the back of this pack as well, going right up through the middle as looks like the 34 was getting held up there somehow. It looked like they saved it for a second, but we're going to have another big one here. Elwood involved in this one. Looked like Scozen involved as well. Hard impact there for both of them. Keeping on Scozen here, and see, I took my eyes up for a second how big net code there in between the 55 and 85. Gets both of them loose, and looks like Therian involved. For the most part, there's a lot of drivers that snuck through there pretty nicely, but that was some heavy impact for a couple of these drivers. We'll take a look and jump on board here with the 06 of Tom Bourne, who just seems like he's been involved in just about everything here tonight. But this is a nice way of the seas parting for once in front of the 06.
I mean, it don't work out. It's like them days of thunder moments, you know.
Let's drive through the smoke.
The seas, the seas just part ways, and you're able to make your way around. But again, just obviously drivers, late race, trying to make things happen here early, and net code playing a bit of a factor. And once you get up that wall, it's like a handbrake, and everything you bounce off there and get cars turned around and know where to go, and you're able to do. That's what happens. I mean, that's just it's just the nature of the beast, unfortunately, and. Net code being, I think, probably the biggest contributing factor there. I know, I was the driver trying to make things happen, and taking 3 wide here late in the race, try to get a better spot, but obviously it didn't pan out here. iRacing's coding, I guess, has failed them. So, but here we are at the end here with Scioli out front, AJ Roderick. Probably thanking the iRacing gods for not allowing him to hit under green here tonight, as he finds himself in P2. And John Van Westen sitting there in P3 in the 121, so good to see him up there. Cruz still hanging in there, and 28 Montgomery's in 5th. Maybe trying to get that, keeping reins with that point championship that has going on. John O'Brien in 6th, Justin Kirby's in 7th, Blake Erickson's in 8th, Joe Sullivan's in 9th, and Nico Garcia finds himself back up in P number 10. So not all bad for some of them drivers that were involved early and found themselves in the back, have now worked their way up to the middle of the field. So we'll see how this thing here ends as we're on lap 71 of 85 here at Atlanta.
Yeah, I think earlier I said 8 laps to go. I meant to say 18 laps to go, just so there's no confusion, as it is 85 laps here tonight. But you've seen John Crane getting the wave around here, and I mean, talk about the 11, his kind of woes here tonight. As we've seen him earlier, kind of way off pace, off on the track map by himself, just trying to kind of maintain and wait for that first caution, and at one point found himself 2 laps down. All of a sudden, he's the lucky dog. He is back on the lead lap. He is going to be in, I think, 23rd position once everything situates itself. He's waiting for a couple of cars to come back around here, as a few drivers decided to come down to pit road at this time by, maybe get some last-minute changes, last-minute adjustments, or maybe take the last set of tires if they haven't yet, as they're going to rejoin the field now. And that's certainly something that we haven't really seen too much, and really hasn't come too much into play here in Atlanta, with it being, Super Speedway, as the tires, new tires aren't going to mean as much as they would on some other tracks, but it certainly feels nice to have just some clean, fresh grip on the car for that last little run. But we are anything but done to this point. We are still going to be 13 laps to go at the line. It's going to be Scioli and Roderick once again on that front row, controlling this start again. Ben Weston on the inside of the second row, Joey Cruz on the outside. Then you got Montgomery and Nominger rounding out row number 3. Can we get a little green flag run to the end of this thing? It's go time, Jimmy. I don't doubt that we'll see another caution. And it's nothing against these drivers. It's tight racing. It's full speed. It's tight racing. It's tough.
I'm not betting against it. Oh, a blink out there in the front there by Cruz. Obviously, things are here and start, but inside lane getting a pretty good start. So maybe just being all grouped up together and Cruz in there just kind of needs to feed the hamsters or something. But 28 there on the outside and the 1.17. Trying to make their way up there, so don't see anybody trying to follow them. They can't really see where they're at. A little bump there, a little bump down, down below the apron. Just gonna check them up just a little bit too wide. They're gonna go sideways. Therian goes around, Foster in the wall. 25 Stoneman, Crockett again, the 06. Just some bad luck for some of these drivers back here tonight.
Yeah, certainly not a good night, unfortunately, for Foster. I know he had a rough night last weekend, and this is going to end up being the end of his night, unfortunately. It's a shame to see. Certainly, I know he's definitely a fan favorite out there, but these super speedway races, they take more than they give, 9 times out of 10. It doesn't matter how good of a driver you are. It's just these are the kind of tracks that I can't stand. I hate them almost as much as short tracks. I mean, short tracks you can at least work on making a pass, and usually, the better drivers will find their way to the front. But on these super speedway races, everybody all together, anything can go wrong so easily. And unless you're out front and not causing the wreck, there's a chance you're going to get involved in it. And there's way too many chances, and so many cars so close together. It's too nerve-wracking for me. It's too much to try and be, wreck avoidance every, 5 laps or so. And unfortunately, it's been a bit of that here tonight. It's been just super speedway racing. And I'd say, luckily, the drivers get a bit of a reprieve next week. Yeah, it's not a super speedway, but oof. We had to Texas, and not for the Motor Speedway. We had to Coda next week. The Circuit of the Americas, the road course looming on the horizon for next weekend. You want to talk about a track that's going to test these drivers, and it's going to be the better driver that finishes on top. You don't have to worry about cautions next week. It's going to be local cautions only. It's going to be 26 laps for some of these drivers of hell. I mean, it is a tough little track just to get a lap in.
That track's is tough enough in a car that actually handles them corners. I've been there a few times in the GT3 car, the LMP2. I don't know if I've done the LMP3 there as well, but that track is it's got a handful, you know, of the road cars, and you get these bigger cars out here, and obviously just they got so much power, and you can spin the tires so easily, and you can really heat them up, and it's just, yeah, these drivers are going to definitely be either like that type of style of racing with these cars, or they're just out there just so they don't get any fines. But yeah, it's going to be a rough one. You never know who's going to win, who's going to step up, who's going to be the fast ones out there. Kind of curious to who's road savvy in the Xfinity cars, to be honest. And so definitely, I'm kind of can't wait to see what's going to go on there. But yeah, I'll keep my driving with the higher downforce cars meant for roads. And as far as these ovals go, Carl, I mean, it's like you said, the adrenaline is there as far as like running close, and it can be a lot of fun, especially when you get big moves and big runs, because a lot of times with these oval cars, it's not a second a lap that you're gaining on somebody because somebody messed up. Because if somebody messed up, they're usually wrecking. So if this thing runs green, it's tenths, thousandths, per lap, and that's why we talk about the pit stops and how important they are, and nail them and making sure that you get them down correctly, because it's easiest to pass people in the pits even when it's green. It kind of sounds maybe intuitive, but it's the best place. You can make up the most time. A second in the pits is so far on oval, so it's definitely the place where you want to try to get it done. But we're going to try to get it done now. We're on lap 76, getting ready to cross the line for lap 77, as James Scioli and AJ Roderick take it down here as the pace car heads down pit lane.
9 laps to go here at the line. We are not done with this one just yet. We still need to crown the winner here tonight. Will it be a second win on the season for Scioli? Will it be 2 in a row for AJ Roderick? Will we see somebody like Joey Cruz or Josh Van Westen come through and get their maiden victory on the season? Cruz going to drop down into third, Van Westen into fourth. Overall points leader Clayton Montgomery still looking for his first win on the season. He is doing this thing the hard way. He's got the points lead the hard way. And oh, by the way, Justin Kirby, closest one to a victory here this season, losing by hundredths of a second at Iowa. That's a big bobble there by Cruz. He's going to save it, work his way back up there, but we are now 3 wide, and netcode again. You see netcode right in your view happen there. Van Westen and I believe that was John Noby are getting involved, and that was visible at high speed. That was about a foot or two in netcode into turn 1. Clearly, turn 1 here tonight, Jimmy, is certainly apparently taxing on the servers, and it's not playing nicely at all. And we got a few drivers involved in this one again. We'll take a look back and see what brought this on, but pretty sure I seen it visibly going to turn 1 here. Certainly the 121 drifts up a little bit, but a big amount of space in between the 121 and 44 causes him to go sideways, and this is not exactly what you want to see. You see Blake Erickson there getting sideways, getting involved in this one. Alan Elwood nowhere to go, as he's going to get involved in this one and then gets absolutely destroyed by the 401. What do you know? Tom Bourne involved in another one here. Looks like he may squeak by, maybe getting a little bit of damage in this one, but a big incident here. And, I mean, if anybody's got fast repairs left, they're going to be used for this one, but it looks like Alan Elwood end up towing back to pit lane. And, man, a lot of cars are going to be limping home here tonight. And Atlanta Super Speedway, as we might as well just call it at this point, is claiming a lot of victims.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry.
All good. We're going to be well under 10 laps to go. It's going to be less than 5 laps to go, as Justin Munsell did not mind this caution at all. He is your lucky dog. He's going to get back on the lead lap. We're going to have 20 cars on the lead lap with less than 5 to go. And, man, I mean, you talk about the front of this field here. Scioli has been leading pretty much this entire time in the second half of this race. and he's got a chance to get his second win of the season. Clayton Montgomery, points leader overall, looking to finally get his first win on the season. AJ Roderick looking to go back-to-back. Justin Kirby looking to make amends for Iowa and get his first win of the season. Joey Cruz looking to blink his way to victory here tonight. Still blinking there in 5th place. Josh Van Westen up there trying to get it done as well. Nico Garcia now up to 7th. Davey Hendricks, Bronson Stafford, both still rookie status, but they have shown some speed here tonight to try and get it done. And then Joe Sullivan rounding out your top 10 right now. This is just about anyone's game before this thing is over. It's going to be, looks like maybe 3 laps to go when we get this thing green.
Yeah, 3 laps to go, and obviously looking in that green-white checker time frame, and these drivers they're at wit's end with each other. We'll just leave it at that. And it's, they want to race, they want to get this done, they want to be aggressive, but they have to do it carefully. They have to be aware. They gotta not just stare at the bumper in front of them. They gotta look ahead. There's a lot of things and a lot of ways to drive, and you just can't floor it and drive through everybody. But right now, James Scioli, Clayton Montgomery, Justin Kirby, and AJ Roderick, all in those first 2 rows. Are they in that position here to win? They might be, but it's all going to be on the start, and we haven't seen a lot of like huge runs by either side. So it's really who gets, I think it's going to get that good start, and we'll see if the couple cars can work together to get a win. So is it going to be the 7 with the 56 pushing, or is it going to be the 43 with the pushing the 70? Because coming out of turn 4, we talked about that bottom lane there, Carl, where there's like 3 extra lanes. I expect it to be full.
Yeah, I think if there's any doubt of if it's go time here or not, it's go time at this point. And Scioli going to choose the outside again. Will he have a chance to get down in front of Clayton Montgomery is the question here. Because we're going to come back to the line, and it's going to be 4 laps left in this race. So not quite green, white checkered just yet. Would not be surprised if we get to that point with how racing these drivers are here tonight. But either way, the 70 is back on the loud pedal, and we are racing again here at Atlanta. Big start by the 70. He can go wherever he wants as he's going to slide down to the bottom. Clayton Montgomery there in 2nd. Justin Kirby is in 3rd, but he's got no help, so he's kind of getting freight trained right now by that inside line.
Yeah, he's got to try to side draft as much as possible, and hopefully somebody steps out, but a lot of teammates helping each other there, 1st or 3rd, but you see Nico Garcia finally stepping out to get on that back bumper of the 43, and it's not a bad move by the 88 if he wants to gain a couple positions, get tucked right underneath the 43 and push him and get things done here as we cross the line for lap number 83 to start lap 83, but you see that the front just kind of going all over the place. You see Cruz going down the inside of AJ Roderick. AJ Roderick's going to be pushed up to the outside of the 43, now has the opportunity to get down, but AJ Roderick looking for that side draft. Everybody's bumping a little too close for my comfort. They're looking to push the pusher there as they all kind of spread out just a little bit. They think things calm down just a little bit as they exit turn 4. Coming down the front stretch, it's still James Scioli and AJ Roderick, but AJ Roderick sneaks off to just the nose there in the front, but they're 3 wide. 4P number 3. Kirby up on the outside, all alone, nowhere to go. Kind of wants to come down, but nowhere, no room. He's going to get left out to dry, as that's not the place he'd like to be. He's got to be able to hang on to the nose there and try to hang this thing out, as he's going to probably fall back another spot or 2. So unfortunate there for the 43. We're going to cross the line here to take lap number 85.
How about white flag in the air, 3 wide. This is going to be the race back to the line, because they did take the white flag as the 28 went down below the 70, trying to trap him there. But how about your leader in front? It is AJ Roderick looking to get it done back to back, but this thing is not over. Side by side into turns 3 and 4. Cruz right there. Clayton Montgomery looking for his first win off of the corner. Roderick going to block. It's going to be Roderick back to back here at Atlanta.
Yeah, Roderick, Cruz, Montgomery as they race around the line. So definitely told you that they were able to get to the white flag, Carl, and race this thing out, but definitely a big one there at the end.
Yeah, we'll take a look back at the white flag and what exactly happened here as Cruz went down to the inside of the 70 on the front stretch, had a nose on the inside at the line, and the 70 just tried to pinch him down there, and they get together, and a ton of cars get wiped out in the process. It ends up being a 3-car race back to the line. Roderick doing everything he can, but he's almost kind of a sitting duck here. The fact that he was able to hold them off here in the end was amazing. See Cruz going up there, really trying to get a little side draft and catch up to the 56. He did have a run, but you see Roderick goes down to the inside to block. Montgomery tried his best to get on the inside there and get some side draft as well, but it's going to be Roderick, Cruz, and Montgomery for your top 3. What a finish here tonight at Atlanta. Man, yeah, certainly going to be a lot of repairs back in the garage after this one, but AJ Roderick getting it done back-to-back. Got to give it to him. Jimmy, while we get these guys ready for their interviews, why don't you give us a rundown of tonight's race results?
Yeah, quick rundown of the race results here tonight will be AJ Roderick, a 2-time back-to-back and super speedway-ish type tracks, getting it done there in a number 56. So congratulations, AJ. Joey Cruz in the 028 will come in second. Clayton Montgomery for third, and then we have Tyler Scozen, Tyler Bramble, John Crane finishing in P6, Dalton Drummond's in 7th, Dan Phelps in 8th, Justin Munsell in 9th, Danny Ware will finish in 10th, Blake Erickson finishes in 11th, Robert Kenny in 12th, Davey Hendricks in 13th, Joseph Sullivan 14th, Josh Van Westen in 15th, James Scioli in 16th, Bronson Stafford in 17th, and Nico Garcia will finish in 18th. Justin Kirby finishes in 19th. Joseph Thomas in 20th. Jack Stoneman, Shane Therian, Tom Bourne, Jeremy Gainey, Alan Elwood finishing all the way back on P25. John Nobringer, Matt Crockett, Aiden Hines, Kevin Foster, Alexander Hamrick, and Luis Arduña and Andrew White finishing out your 32-car field here at the amazing Atlanta.
I'm not sure too many drivers other than our top 3, top 5 maybe find it amazing here tonight, but we will we'll go ahead and get our top 3 in here for their interviews, and man, hopefully they're back in the haulers right now, in their own haulers, and not fighting with each other, but.
I mean, they should put a boxing ring down in the infield for some of these drivers. You know, let's put it this way: I'm a racer. I've been there, done that, and I know what super speedway racing's like. You have to. This is a guy that has a short temper. You have to sit back and get the replay and really dissect these things on what happened, whether it was net code, the guy, there's a lot of learning going out here too. Not everybody's perfect. Not everybody that's out here tonight is a professional. So let's keep that in mind. That was just a hobby and it's supposed to be fun, and people do make mistakes. And sometimes as little as they are, and it gets frustrating because I know a lot of people take the time to practice. I'm one of those drivers that likes to practice probably more than race. And it does get very hairy out there. But looking forward to talking to the drivers that did survive tonight and see how their race went for them, and get them recognized here for definitely for that great finish.
Well, we're going to go ahead and start with our 3rd place finisher here tonight. And that is, allow me to grab him. There it is. That is going to be the 7 of Clayton Montgomery. And Clayton, I guess the formula to keep the points lead is just do whatever you can, just don't win. I mean, do you feel like a win is ever going to come under the consideration here this season? Are you happy getting these top 3s and maintaining these great points finishes?
I mean, obviously a win would be nice, but in the grand scheme of things, especially how that race just ended with the 28 pulling his thing, I'll take a 3rd. Should have been higher, but take what you can get every week, and you can't complain with 3rds and 2nds, I guess.
Yeah, I mean it's been a winning formula for you so far, not necessarily for the races, but I mean you're on top of the points, and a lot of people had some issues here tonight between black flags, between the crazy pit entry here at Atlanta, which I originally thought was a good idea and I thought other tracks should have it. Now I'm already backtracking and thinking that it was a it's a dumb idea.
I don't know what he was
just
thinking.
because of the black flags and everything like that. But then netcode certainly was coming into play in turn one quite a bit as well. So it was just it was a bit rough out there. There's really no other way to put it. But I mean, you survive and you get it done here, and you had to be up front to really have any chance of staying out of any kind of issues. But even that was almost close at the end.
Yeah, I mean the black flags there. I don't know how many it was, 7, 8, 9 of them, however many of it got there to be on that first pit stop.
A lot.
It helped me out quite a bit, and I was one of the lucky ones who didn't get it, which helped me get me up further. But yeah, I mean, it's another one of them, just like Daytona and Talladega. You just kind of take what you can get at this type of track and hope it plays in your favor.
Yeah, there's a lot of things I know. Some drivers like to rub Martinsville in my face and want Martinsville back in the schedule. That's never going to happen. Nobody's ever going to be able to talk me into that. But I could probably be talked into old Atlanta being put back on the schedule instead of new Atlanta because this is just. It's a little too crazy. I don't mind the super speedways here and there, but that's what Daytona and Talladega are for. This was a little crazy out here tonight and just too many cars, too close, too fast. But you get it done here tonight. Top three, another good points finish, and still going to maintain that lead going into COTA next week. So tell me a little bit about COTA. I mean, of course, this track here tonight and last night was a bit scary. Next week is not going to be easy.
No, I've done some practice on it, with the new layout. Never drove it until just the other day, but I mean, I got confidence in myself. I like to say I'm a decent road racer, not the greatest, not the worst, but it'll be better in my opinion, just because there'll be no cautions and mistakes will be. I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but if you make a mistake, it's kind of upon you, and it doesn't affect everybody else, I guess you'd say.
Yeah, exactly. Well, either way, see if we can keep the good finishes up there, see if you can get another podium. And, hey, maybe one of these days a win will be in the cards. But for the time being, keep plugging away here, keep getting these podiums, and keep talking to us. And we'll keep you on top of that point standing. So congrats on the podium here tonight. Who do you want to give a shout-out to or thanks to?
Shout out to you guys for doing this every week and broadcasting. Elwood Design, Simrap Market, Roderick Racing Development, and VRS. I just recently came on, and all the guys on the team and everything.
All right, buddy. Well, congrats again on another podium finish here tonight. We'll see you next week at COTA.
All right, y'all have a good one.
That is your third place finisher here tonight, the 7 of Clayton Montgomery. Second place tonight, Jimmy, is going to be the 028 of Joey Cruz.
Hey, Joey, Jimmy, and Carl, open the boot to Cappy.
Yes, sir, I do. How's it going?
Hey, not too bad. I think it's the first time we got to talk to the 028 up here in the booth. So congratulations on the good finish here tonight. It was definitely a challenge, it looked like, with some of the new or the rules here at Atlanta with the back straight pit entry, but and some people getting some black flags, giving some drivers the opportunity to be up here. But obviously one of those tracks where it's kind of like Daytona, just a little shorter and can be a little hairy, and I think just not as much room. But either way, you get that 028 into that second place here tonight, and I just wanted to give you some time to kind of tell us your side of the story and what things went for you.
Well, first off, that whole deal with the back straightaway, like the pit entry, it took a little bit getting used to in practice, but I think once I got it down, I was able to take my pit stops pretty well there. Thankfully, I was able to take some of my pit stops there pretty nice and easy, nice and slow. Didn't need to push the issue there. So there's that. And just waiting out the race, like just in the back, I feel like really paid off a lot, because last week at Daytona, I was actually doing the same thing at Daytona, but I got screwed over even though I was 2 laps down, getting caught in a wreck Daytona. But yeah, just being there at the end and being up there up front was just honestly incredible. It's one of the best runs I've had here at Core. It probably like forever, like so far. Hang on, I'm sorry, Adam. Sorry, can you keep it down? I'm doing sorry, my roommate. He's on the phone right now with somebody, but one of our friends. You know, it happens. But just being there at the end was honestly incredible. Like, you know, running in the back, you know, you're not really feeling much. You know, you're kind of calmed down, but once you're up front, you know, depending on who you are, at least for me, man, it was just an experience. It was just wild. Like, my heart rate was probably through the roof with that. And I know I got it into the 70 there on the final lap there, coming down into the apron. But, you know, I'm just gonna say the same thing, you know, that Ross said when he tried to go for win the 524. You know, I can at least go to bed knowing that I made a move for the win. And even though it's not a win, I'm definitely very happy with tonight. It's definitely a step in the right direction for me, because I've been wrecking out like every week so far since I've been here. So to finish on the lead lap for this race, and let alone be on the podium for this one too, is incredible, because I'm running with a lot of these guys here that have a ton of experience, and to be running up front with them, I'll be a Super Speedway race, is still quite awesome, and it was quite the experience there for me. And I'd also like to give a shout out to my teammates, Jack, Tyler, Aiden, and Andrew, who are running with me tonight. I know some of them didn't have some good races, but, you know, I'd like to shout out Tyler's P4 there, so good job to him. And I'd also like to thank all of them for their support over the past few weeks through the good and bad, because I know I've been having a lot of bad weeks here recently. And I'd also like to say thank you to some other family and friends who are watching back home from Minnesota right now, specifically to my mom, dad, and my little sister Lucy. So, hey, Lucy, if you're hearing this, hello. Your big brother loves you very much. So, yeah, there's all that. And hopefully for the next Super Speedways to come, I'll be back up there running up front, and maybe you guys will see me up front on some of the intermediate tracks as well, if all goes well and if I get better, which I do plan on doing. So, yeah, there's that. Hey, I mean, you know, look, we all start at 0, so we're only going up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're continuing to obviously show and improve, and obviously, like you said, and you just kind of get yourself in a situation where you get the opportunity to get good finishes, and you know you were fighting there for the win here. Obviously, being a Super Speedway, maybe find yourself maybe a little higher because you know the draft keeping you well in tow with a lot of things. But it takes a lot of talent to run close, and there's a lot of drivers that got a lot of talent out here, like you said. And you just kind of stick with it and keep, you know, doing the right things and learn what you can from some of these drivers around you, because they can always show you a thing or two. And like you said, you got teammates, so that's always a good step too, is having people to converse with and maybe help if you're having issues. But next week you find yourself at what's going to be a road course with these cars. So how you feeling about next week, or is there anything that maybe you just need to do to prepare yourself for a challenge?
Honestly, you know, with a race like COTA coming up, I'm just going to do what I did back in my old Forza Motorsport 7 days. I used to run a lot of leagues on Forza Motorsport 7 where there were a lot of road courses, and I would just spend hours cranking those laps, like lap after lap. So I think the deal for COTA next week is just to practice as much as I can, because I feel like with a road course, you got to be very consistent. You got to be very on your game. You know, of course, you got to do the same with short tracks, intermediates, and, you know, super speedways as well. But road courses is a much different discipline compared to the oval tracks. So just got to crank as many laps as I can. So I guess whenever I come out of class, I'll just hop on the rig and just do as many laps as I can before, you know, I feel satisfied. But yeah, and also one other side note with the car I'm running tonight, I dedicate the car to one of my close friends back in Minnesota, Riley. So Riley, if you are watching this, well, nice to see you here. And yeah, I hope I put on a good show for you, man. So yeah, but again, with the road courses at COTA and probably coming up like Watkins Glen and stuff like that, I'd say just the name of the game here is just to keep practicing as many laps as possible to try to perfect the corners, try to perfect the technique, everything, pitting, just everything down to the bottom. Because most of these guys and even me, we could just hop into like these sessions on oval tracks and usually run pretty well, decent with practice. But with road courses, again, it's something that takes a lot more time than 30 minutes. So that's something I know and will be taken into account for next week.
Again, good, congratulations on that second place finish here tonight, and obviously best of luck on the upcoming week there with Coda. So we'll let you go ahead and go celebrate with your friends and family.
Well, yeah, thank you very much, man. Hey, it's pretty nice to be in here for the first time, I'll say. So again, hello to everybody. Yeah, good to see you guys. Thank you very much. You have a good one.
Take it easy, man.
That is
Cheers to you
your
all.
second place finisher here tonight, the 028 of Joey Cruz. Winner here tonight, back to back. And I mean, all we have to do is just, make these races one way or another that there's no green flag pit stops, and this man's going to get it done. AJ Roderick, back to back, buddy. You seen this coming a mile away, right?
Yeah, kind of. No. Honestly, I was pretty content sitting third behind Clayton and James up until that last caution, and I don't know what happened. So all I heard was he went to the apron, and then I heard them call it they were wrecking, and I was like, well, I might as well keep my foot in it now, and then I got to drive out the mirror. So
yeah. So talk me down the backstretch. I mean, you get out, you're in front of the wreck that happened behind you, but you're not out of the woods just yet. You're out there just enough to kind of give you that worry going into turn number 3. You had both Clayton Montgomery, Joey Cruz bearing down on you going into to turn number 3. So, I mean, what were your thoughts down the backstretch? Were you looking at turn 3 at all, or was it all just mirror driving?
it was pretty much mirror driving. I moved up the track trying to give Clayton the draft to see if it could, pull him in front of the 28, and get him into second. And then I realized real quick that they were closing the gap fast, and I wasn't sure what it was going to be like coming off of turn 4. I just knew I had to keep the car as low as possible and not give up the bottom whatsoever.
Well, it worked out, and it was not easy, certainly coming to the line, but back-to-back wins. I mean, again, just what are the thoughts on that? I mean, obviously, you finally break through. You get your win last week at Daytona, but this one's got to feel special to get your second one right away.
I'm a little conflicted tonight. I would have liked to have been able to race my teammates and finish side by side with them, but hey, I'd rather be lucky than good, right?
Exactly. Certainly going to help you out in the points as well. I mean, somehow Tyler Skosen ended up, or not Tyler Skosen, Tyler Bramble finished up there in 5th as well. So you're not the only one in the silver in the top 5, but it's certainly going to be a nice payday when it comes to points. And either way, it's back-to-back wins here from a silver driver. I don't think the gold has broken through. Tyler Skosen finally getting a top 5, but man,
I got a feeling I think I'm going to be going to gold here pretty soon, to be honest. I've been gaining a lot of rating here, so
well,
2 wins in a row, it definitely helps out.
And you can't dump it next week. I mean, next week is the race I'm sure you've probably been looking forward to, maybe a little bit more than some others. I know it's stock cars.
I hate stock cars on road courses on iRacing. They are the worst thing ever. Oh my god, I have no throttle control. That's why I'm so I love the GT3 stuff because you can just put the power down and go. I'll be lucky if I make it through the race without going off at least twice.
Yeah, that thing is. I fear for everyone's rear tires next week. That thing is gonna chew it up. It doesn't matter how soft you are. It still sucks.
James Scioli. I think James is gonna run away with it. That dude's a freaking alien when it comes to these cars on road courses. I don't know what it is. So, everyone's pretty much gonna be chasing him next week. I got a feeling.
Well, if that's the case, at least you can put it in your hat that you got 2 wins in the season before James Scioli did. So you got that
That's what
going for you.
And it's funny because I even said something to him earlier. I'm like, hey guys, I'm like, remember when you thought James was going to win everything? Guess what? I have the same amount of wins as him.
Now you got more.
Now I got more. So not only do I have more wins than James Scioli, I also have more powerhouse performances than Shane Therian. So
Exactly. So
Yeah.
enough said. But Clayton's got more points than you. So I guess that's the next one that you're going to run down at this point.
But Clayton's the most consistent driver I've ever seen. I mean, I feel bad for him because he's been so close to wins, and here I am where we have races where we don't have green flag stops, and all of a sudden I'm finishing in the top 5 every weekend, right? So, Clayton's due for one. It's coming for him, but that consistency is definitely going to help him with the championship stuff.
Well, you get your second win in a row here tonight. Certainly going to help you out with the championship stuff as well in the silver division. So congrats on back-to-back wins. Who do you want to give a shout-out to or thanks to?
First off, give a shout-out to Simrat Market as our main sponsor here. Appreciate everything that they do for us for making these really good-looking cars. Need to thank the team, Elwood Designs Esports. Those guys have been nothing but supportive and super helpful with me trying to get my iRacing career back on track here. So. And also need to thank Team VRS, who we just signed on with. So pretty excited for that. Just a lot of real cool things happening right now.
Absolutely. Well, once again, take some time, celebrate this one, and I guess already start planning on trying to figure out a way to keep those tires underneath you next week at COTA. It's not going to be easy, but you have back-to-back wins, so you can kind of rest on your laurels a little bit here for another week or two.
Yep, absolutely.
Winner here tonight, the 56 of AJ Ryder. We got time for a couple more interviews here. We'll grab the rest of the top 5 here. And Jimmy coming home in 4th place. He doesn't know how, and I don't really know how either, but it's going to be the 55 of Tyler Skozen.
Hey, Tyler, Jimmy, and Carl up in the boot. I guess welcome back. But a little crazy out there, as obviously as these type of tracks can be. Just want to give you a little bit of time for any shouts that you might have and say congratulations on surviving.
Well, thank you. I mean, it was for sure wild. I mean, had a bunch of incidents earlier that just didn't have room to get out of the way, and then kind of had a bit of a skill issue towards the end there, but also kind of looked at the replay, looked like mostly net code, so tough there. But I mean, it was fun. Definitely glad to get a good finish like this for the first time. And shout out to everybody up the UNOH supports for sure. Everybody, all the fans that I bring in to watch the races every week. But yeah, definitely needed that. Good to see.
Yeah, it's obviously, like you said, it's a very challenging track to run that close, and hopefully that the net code gods allow you to get through. But if you the pile up behind you, as I'm watching it on camera now, is a massive. So you escaped that one to get that 4th place. But yeah, you still finished, and you still were in the right spot at the right time. And sometimes lady luck goes the right way. So, like I said, just wanted to say congratulations for surviving and for the good finish. And obviously, if you guys shouts, go ahead and we'll give you the opportunity to do so.
Yeah, well, thanks again. The funny part is there was a 20x at the end of the day, but at the end it felt like it wasn't as stressful from my POV, really. It was just a lot of trying to make moves, because once I got damaged midway through the race, I got slowed down a little bit, kind of went down on power, and lost all my track position, so that definitely hurt. And once I got all the damage repaired, I got to basically start from the back and try multiple times to get through the field, which I felt like we did, and that wasn't pretty. I mean, that's for sure. I felt like I did everything I could. A couple incidents, were my fault, of course. One where I initially got spun. Yeah, I'll definitely keep looking at that, maybe see if I could have done anything different. But hey, it happened. But again, I guess congrats to everybody. Congrats to AJ for winning. Joey, my teammate, finishing 2nd. Good run for him. Again, definitely P4. Definitely a bit of breath of fresh air and heading into COTA, which I've never run that layout before. So we'll see. We'll see what happens here. And definitely needed this one.
Yeah, definitely. need a decent finish for the upcoming weeks, especially with Coda on the horizon out there looming. So again, congratulations, and hopefully we'll talk to you next week.
Thank you, Jimmy. We'll see you next week.
That is your fourth place finish here tonight. Highest finishing Gold Division driver, the 55 of Tyler Skozen. Last interview we'll get to tonight is going to be, excuse me, the driver of the 39, Tyler Bramble. Tyler, you come home with a P5 here tonight, top 5. I mean, from early on, you can see this was coming. You know, it had nothing to do with the spin on the backstretch. You know, getting involved in this and that, and all kinds of guys going to lap down. We got the craziness with the pit entry, black flags. P5 easy tonight.
Sure, we'll go with that.
So go ahead and walk me through the race and, you know, kind of the highs and lows, the ups and downs here for the channel lock number 39.
Well, I've had back-to-back top 10s and back-to-back 4Xs in the pits, so maybe I just need to wreck in the pits more.
It's the top 5 formula. It is what it is. I mean, you don't knock it.
Yeah. Atlanta Super Speedway configuration is difficult, especially just with this game, because not everyone's got the same visibility and netcode and everything of that nature. So my game plan was survival and try to take care of tires, and because we had a couple of long runs, so I was running the high line. My idea was to stay up top, save what I could, just make it to the end. Getting involved with the spin on the backstretch was frustrating because then I ended up using my last set of tires. So I was once again just try and survive for it, and lucky enough I did, and here I am in P5.
Yeah. You lost your hood, or watching you from your point of view drive through the incident there on the last lap. Luckily for you, not only the hood came back on afterwards, but luckily it didn't stick up. Have you had any experiences with that yet? We've seen cars already that this season have the hood stuck up, and unless you got triples or you got VR that you can actually stick your head to the side, you can't really see with that thing up there.
No, my end it didn't come up for me on that end, so I was lucky enough for that. I have had it come up for me when I ran an official at Xfinity at Watkins Glen right after the bus stop. And trying to make it to the pits from that was next to impossible.
The least fun carousel in the world, for sure. I'm assuming on that one, but
yes.
But either way, I mean, a top 5 here tonight, and just like a typical super speedway, a top 5 feels like a win, and you survived and got yourself a heck of a good finishing effort here tonight for the silver drivers as well. So, congrats on your top 5. Who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
I want to thank my wife for letting me step away on Tuesday nights to do this, and thank really just about her, because everyone else is right now off doing other stuff at the moment. So thanks, my wife.
All right, buddy. Well, congrats again on the top 5. We'll see you next week at COTA.
All right. Thanks, guys.
5th place finisher here tonight, and second highest finishing silver driver. That's going to be the 39 of Tyler Bramble. I want to thank everyone for tuning in here tonight. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe. Get you in touch with everything that Siren has to offer. I want to thank our series sponsor, Elwood Designs, and everything they do to help out the Elwood Designs Core Xfinity series. But that is going to do it here for tonight. Again, next week, COTA. Next week, we go road racing. Whether you like it or not, whether these drivers like it or not, they're going to have to figure out a way to brake and turn right. It's not going to be... hide the babies.
Good luck. Good luck.
Bring some extra beverages, because it's going to be rough for a lot of these drivers for sure.
I got popcorn for turn 1.
Oh man, it's going to be. We'll just say it's going to be fun, and I'm happy I'm in the booth for sure. But thank you again for tuning in here tonight. But for myself and Jimmy here from the Atlanta Super Speedway, we'll see you at the track.
Peace.